Hello, lovely YouTube subscribers. This is my first review on YouTube. I've done them on Instagram Live before, but that seemed silly to me after a while because they disappear in like 24 hours, so here we are. As posted on my Instagram account, though, this is a review of the Scorpion Season 4 finale. I do not consider this a series finale because it was not satisfying in any way, shape, or form, nor did it wrap up anything to do with the characters. In order to talk about the series finale, I think I have to first talk about Season 4 as a whole and some of the more basic and major plot points that occurred. So, to begin, in Season 4, after waiting 3 years, yes, 3, for Walter and Paige to get together, they finally did. And I was very excited about this and very happy about this because I've wanted them to get together for a very long time, and I thought it was stupid that it took this long. So that's a good thing that happened, and I was very excited about it. And of course there are problems because they're such different people, but you know what? I didn't really think anything of it because every relationship has problems. Everybody has things that they have to deal with. And I was alright with the problems because they seemed pretty, normal couple-y stuff. Sorry, the notes on my computer went dark. Be lost without those. So, also in Season 4 we see Sylvester developing as a character because he's dealing with the loss of his wife Megan, who also happens to be Walter's sister, and that's a whole... If you're not caught up on Scorpion, you're not going to know what I'm talking about at all anyway. So that's kind of problematic. Maybe get caught up on Scorpion and then come back and watch this because there are going to be spoilers. I've already spoiled stuff. I'm sorry. Spoilers, get caught up on Scorpion, then come back and watch this because you should watch Scorpion. It's great. It's not anything high arty or super intelligent, but it's fun and the characters are likable. Go watch Scorpion. Now, there was also a whole thing about Mark Collins, and again, get caught up on Scorpion, you'll know who that is. Now, Mark Collins is a menace. He's also a psychopath, essentially. And they need him because he's talking about how there's this big end of the world thing going on, and he escapes from their custody, and so then Cabe gets in trouble because he escaped from custody and they think that Cabe just let him go, which is not the case, but they think that. And when I say they, I mean the justice system. What else? Oh, Toby and Happy got married last season, and so now they want to have a baby. But they can't. So they've decided that they want to adopt a child, which is really super exciting and adorable. And had Scorpion been renewed for a 5th season, I imagine we would have seen the development of this story. But here we are. Oh, also, this is kind of a big deal because this is going to come up later. Scorpion gets a neighbor, a chemist named Florence. I like her as a character. I liked what they did with her because they brought her into the story essentially to give Walter a female counterpart that he had more in common with other than Paige. Not to say that Walter falls in love with this woman at any point, because he doesn't. He's in love with Paige, and Paige is in love with Walter, and that's all well and good. But she's there to create tension and drama, because all TV shows need that, and every TV show has that, and that's fine. She's not contrived in any way. I mean, she's there because they have a neighbor. And she does help with cases on occasion, so she's not just a useless character to be there for drama. And I like her. She's awkward and she's funny, and she's essentially the female Walter, which is fine, because that's funny. But Sylvester does develop feelings for her, and again, this will come up later. So, that is also important. Sylvester develops feelings for this woman. The first woman he's had feelings for since Megan died, which is pretty sweet, actually. Okay, So I've covered the major points of season 4. So let's get to the finale. Okay. Where to begin with everything that is wrong with the finale? Okay, actually, you know what? The finale, basically their mission is to stop this, like, sandstorm thing in the desert. That's the major plot of the season finale. And as a plot, that's fun. It's fine. I like the plot of that. That's funny. There's a sandstorm in the desert. That's great. They can go stop a sandstorm in the desert. That sounds just as ridiculous as the tornado they had to stop in, like, season 2. It's fine. But, it's not so much the season finale as a whole. It is the last 10 minutes of the season finale. Let's talk about the last 10 minutes of the season finale. Okay, we'll get to the biggest problem I have with the writing of the last 10 minutes of the season finale, because I blame no one but the writers, because the actors' job is to act what's on the page. Haha. They have no choice. So it's certainly not the actor's fault. It's the writer's fault for writing a season finale just for the purpose of creating drama, which I wouldn't mind if they'd gotten another season, and also if the writing wasn't so uncharacteristic for every single person involved. Because you know what? I don't have a problem with cliffhangers in season finales. I don't. I watch Friends. Pretty much every season finale of Friends is a cliffhanger, and that's fine. Because the cliffhangers were still in character for the people involved. Scorpion's last 10 minutes of its season finale is like the writers had never written for the show before and never seen the show before, and they were just like, what if the characters did this? Because it'll create drama, and people will come back for season 5. Oh wait, we didn't get a season 5. Okay. I have several problems, so let's get to that. Okay. My first problem, and this isn't necessarily a thing specific to the season finale, it's just a problem that burst open in the season finale, and my problem is Walter lied to Paige. Now, to clarify, Paige was teaching Walter about white lies, like not telling your girlfriend if she looks fat. that wasn't specifically what she was teaching him about, but you know what white lies are. She was teaching him how to white lie. Okay, fine. People do this, it's fine, but I don't know. Something about fixing that about Walter kind of breaks Walter as a person, because Walter doesn't really lie. It's uncharacteristic for Walter. He doesn't like to lie. He doesn't lie. But you know what? That's fine. As a plot point, teaching Walter about white lies, that's fine. But here's the thing. Walter had gotten tickets to this, like, scientific lecture thing, and Paige was super not interested in this, because why would she be? But she'd been lying to him, being like, oh yeah, I'm so excited, I'm super excited to go to this scientific lecture thing, and Walter being Walter did not pick up on the lying. And at the end of the episode, he overhears her talking about how she super doesn't want to go to this thing, so he lies to her about it being canceled. And he finds someone else to go with. Florence. Who, again, is there to create tension. And they went as friends. Now to clarify, they went as friends. He didn't kiss her, didn't sleep with her. They went to the scientific lecture, and that is it. I have no problem with this. My problem is that Walter was never going to tell Paige that he did this. Because I don't know. I really don't know. Walter is super not the kind of person who wouldn't tell Paige about this kind of thing. He would have told her. It would have been so much better if he had just told her. Now, that is my first issue with this finale, is that Walter was never going to tell Paige that he went to this scientific lecture with Florence. Problem number 2, and this is not my biggest problem, but it is one of my bigger problems, is that Florence says that she has developed feelings for Walter. This is a problem because in an earlier episode of the season, she talked about how she and Walter were not good together because they were all brain and no heart, and you needed a balance. So that pretty much put that whole thing to bed. But then the writers just decided, no, we can't get rid of that because that's our big tension for the season. So they were like, oh wait, no, Florence, you've developed feelings for Walter. Even if it makes no sense. Which it doesn't. Problem numero 3. As previously discussed, Sylvester had developed feelings for Florence. Which again, I quite liked because first person he had developed feelings for since Megan died. The problem I have with this is that he blames Walter for Florence having developed feelings for Walter. First of all, that isn't Walter's fault. It's not Walter's fault that Florence has developed feelings for him. And also, Sylvester wouldn't blame Walter for this. It's out of character for Sylvester to blame Walter for this, because Sylvester looks at Walter as an older brother, because Walter rescued Sylvester from this horrible, awful life that he had. And Sylvester wouldn't blame Walter for Florence developing feelings for him, and he certainly wouldn't get mad at him about it. This, however, does lead directly into my quattro problem with this season finale, which is Walter telling Sylvester that if he was more of a man, he would have told Florence how he felt. Problem number 4. Walter wouldn't say something like that. He wouldn't talk to Sylvester like that. Toby, maybe. Their relationship is different, and that's something that they would probably say to each other. But no, not Sylvester. He wouldn't talk to Sylvester like that, because his relationship with Sylvester doesn't work that way. So, just the way that Walter and Sylvester have treated each other, those are 3 and 4 of my problems. Problem number 5. And this is number 2 to the number 1 biggest problem I have with this season finale. And the number 2 biggest problem I have with this season finale is that Paige breaks up with Walter. as previously stated, it took 3 years for them to get Walter and Paige together. 3 years of my life I spent watching this show, and so many other fans spent watching this show for Walter and Paige to get together, because anyone who watched the show wanted Walter and Paige to get together. Because it's so obvious they're in love with each other. It's so obvious they're good for each other. And it's so obvious that Walter has basically become a dad for Paige's son, Ralph. Now, here's the problem I have, other than it took 3 years for you to get them together and then you just so easily broke them up in 1 season. Writers, I blame you. Here's the thing. She broke up with him because he didn't tell her that he went to a lecture with Florence. Now, as I said before, they went as friends. Now, granted, Florence developed feelings for Walter, as stated in problem number 2 of stupid plot contrivances. But Walter didn't know that. Walter did not cheat on Paige. He didn't even think about it as cheating. He didn't cheat. He didn't think about cheating. He just took her as a friend. Now, Paige broke up with him because of that. Okay. Aside from the fact that that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, the dumbest reason I've ever heard to break up with anyone, that makes Paige seem really petty and kind of like a bitch, which she's not. It just kind of ruins the character a little, and that's unfortunate because I like Katharine McPhee a lot, and Katharine McPhee's portrayal of Paige is really good, and this isn't her fault. It's not. It's the writer's fault. And Katharine McPhee's acting in this part of the finale is really good. She does fine. The acting is really good. It's not the actor's fault. On any of these points, it's not the actor's fault. It's the writers. And I hate what the writers did to Paige. Because she wouldn't have done that to him. After 3 years of this, she wouldn't have done that. They were in love with each other. They still are. In my mind, this is not the season finale. I've got a different season finale in my mind, a series finale. I have a different series finale in my mind right now, and it's super better than this. It's just awful. It's awful because it's really mean-spirited, honestly. Not only to Walter's character, but also to the fans. It's kind of like a big fuck you, like, sorry you waited 3 years for them to get together and now we're just gonna break them up just like that. Oh well. Guess you're just gonna have to deal with it. And, that really pisses me off. Because it's such a, I'm gonna say mean-spirited again, but it is. To the fans, especially who watch the show, and especially to the actors who I'm sure also kind of saw this as out of character. And that's kind of the big thing here. that I'm trying to drive home, which is that this entire last 10 minutes of this season finale is the most out of character, contrived bullshit that I've ever seen. And that is my second biggest problem, is that Walter broke up with Paige, which from the writers just shows such a lack of caring to the fans and to the characters that they're writing for, because Paige wouldn't have broken up with Walter over something so stupid. In fact, in earlier episodes of the season, she was talking about how much she loved him and how there was nothing that he could ever do nothing that he could ever tell her that would make her break up with him, and nothing that he could do that would make her bored with him. And that's another thing that she says, which is that knows she'll never be able to fully satisfy his brain, which was something that was a concern for him earlier in the season and was handled by her telling him that she would never be bored of him. And then they just forgot that they did that. And then apparently the writers just forgot that they did that, because that apparently is also one of the reasons that she breaks up with him. Whatever. Writers, it's great, thanks. Okay. God, okay. And then we're gonna get to my number one problem with this finale. Okay. Here's the thing. Throughout the entire run of Scorpion, it has been made apparent that Scorpion is this family. They treat each other like a family. They love each other like a family. They act together as a family. They fight. And sometimes they are mad at each other for a while, and sometimes one of them goes off for a while and is just like, I'm not dealing with you right now, but always they come back together. And usually it only takes a few days for that to occur. Maybe a couple weeks. It's hard to tell in TV time. But number uno problem I have with this season finale is that they break up the team. Oh yes, it's true. Scorpion breaks up, and here's the thing. They break up because they all get into a fight because everybody's being a jackass. Sorry, a jackass. Yeah, no, they're all being assholes because the writers have decided that they're all assholes now. Because everybody's acting like an asshole. Except for Cabe, who has just apparently faded into the background and really has nothing to do with why I'm upset about this season finale. Okay, so Sylvester, Toby, Happy, and Paige leave the team and create their own team called Centipede, which whatever. But here's the thing. Toby and Happy also knew about the Florence thing and also didn't tell Paige. So Toby and Happy also lied to Paige. And she's not mad at them. No, she's not mad at them. She's just mad at Walter. Who, again, I would like to say, didn't really do anything wrong other than not tell her about it. Should he have told her? Probably. Did he? No. Would I break up with someone for not telling me that they went on a friendly date? I wouldn't even call it a date. A friendly outing to a scientific convention with another woman who they weren't interested in dating or attracted to? No. It's stupid. It's one of the reasons that the team breaks up, and is quite possibly the most it's not even quite possibly, it is the most infuriating thing about the season finale, because they break up the team. And that's my problem. Is that the team has fought, and Paige has left a couple times. But not for long periods of time. Not for a long enough time for another team to be created. And the series, season 4 ends with Toby, Paige, Sly, and Happy forming Centipede, and have apparently formed this team for 3 months now, and is probably going to be a permanent, and is written like it's supposed to be a semi-permanent thing until, you know, the supposed season 5, when they were going to fix all this shit. But we didn't get a season 5. So now we're stuck with this unsatisfying piece of shit ending that ruins the characters and leaves fans pissed off because of contrived bullshit that no one wanted. So, what's the takeaway from this? Writers, care about the fans. Make characters the characters they're supposed to be. And don't write contrived bullshit just because you want drama for your season finale, especially if you don't know that you're getting another season. If they had done this and they had been renewed for another season, I'd still be annoyed because it's out of character for every single person involved, but they would have gotten another season where they would have fixed all of this. Eventually, probably by the end of that season, because God forbid. But they would have fixed it. And we wouldn't be stuck with this ending in our heads of, well, I guess they weren't such a close-knit family after all. Guess Walter and Paige weren't as in love as we were led to believe if Paige could so easily break up with him, even though that is completely out of character for her, but whatever. Okay. I honestly don't know what to say. I've been ranting for about a half hour, which seems about right because that's usually about how long it takes me to rant about this shit. So, I will leave you with that, which is my review for the season 4 finale of Scorpion. And yes, I'm still going with season 4 because it's not a series finale, because it's unsatisfactory. And I don't think of series finales as unsatisfactory. I think of them as wrapping up characters, and if the show calls for it, ending happy. If it doesn't, it ends depressing or sad or whatever, but the characters are wrapped up, and their stories are finished. And this was not a series finale. This was a season 4 finale that was waiting for a season 5 that never came along, and it's bullshit. Thank you, and have a lovely day to my subscribers. Writers of Scorpion, you can go fuck yourselves for the last 10 minutes of the season 4 finale. Goodbye.